Hey everybody, I just want to make a quick little video to give you a little more instruction on assignment 2. So what assignment 2 asks you to do is sort of go on the internet, go on Pinterest, something like that, and find some architecture that appeals to your aesthetic sense in some way. It also should be a project that when you look at it, you're like, yeah, I could kind of see how I can model that up using the conceptual massing tools that we learned in the lectures. So specifically, I'm talking about extrusion, blend, sweep, things like that. So if you have those tools in mind, you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, I think I can model this. That might be a good fit. So this one, for example, I could see, oh, this is just basically two big rectilinear forms with voids sort of cut out in between them. Likewise, I could see all the different levels of this building, so I know how many levels are in the project. So I could set up my massing environment to have those levels, and then I could sort of start playing with rectangles and extruding them and kind of making this form. Now, of course, hey Wendell, will you please relax? I have no idea where he is. Um, Now I have no idea what's on the other side of this building, and that's okay. We can just sort of guess. So maybe for my final submission, I'll do a view from this angle, and I'll do a view maybe from the side angle that catches the other side of this larger volume. Maybe I won't do one from the back at all. Okay, so we can ignore that one. So here's a good example. I got a couple more, and these are all included on the assignment sheet. This one's kind of interesting, but I feel like you could figure out how to do this just using simple extrusions. Um, Looks complex, but maybe it's not so bad. I mean, really, these are just like kind of ribbons that are extruded. So you could make out the form of all of those ribbons and extrude it from like the front of the structure to the back of the structure. That might be one way to do it. I'm just going to pause this and get my dog out. Someone didn't get his walk today. Okay, definitely more complex, but totally doable. This one, really interesting. So you could, of course, count the levels in here. Now you might have 50 levels, but you could sort of break this down by volumes again. So we have that huge volume on the top, the volume kind of sandwiched in the middle, kind of an L-shaped volume beneath, and maybe that other lower building on the left-hand side there, there's another volume there. Now, in this case, it would just be like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 different rectilinear volumes. Kind of boring. Maybe you could jazz it up a little bit and add some of those striations as different conceptual masses running up the length of, say, this taller volume. So, sort of, you could add little bits of detail here and there, and then change all the materials to white, as I did in the lecture, and then bring that into a project and cut me an image with your title block. That's the kind of goal here. This one's interesting. So this would be looks like a triangular building, but this could be done with um, fillets and curves to sort of make 1, 2, 3, 4 curved filleted triangles, and you can extrude all those. You could then add the little detail of all those little louvers that are open and things like that. So that would be really cool to add. I think this is a really good one that would really challenge you. Not that complicated if you break it down into extrusions, but of course, there's a lot of extrusions here. So you could count the levels, figure out what you need, and then you could sort of start building this thing up. And there's a lot of levels that are kind of similar, specifically kind of right in here. So what you do on this level, you could copy up to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, and you could sort of construct this thing. Kind of interesting. Another one using rectilinear elements. This is kind of neat, the pushing and pulling of all the different pieces. That'd be cool to do. And that's all I have in here. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm after and clears up any confusion you might have. Now, one last thing. The point of this is to create a volumetric mass, and then you would bring that into a project, and then we can start turning it into architecture. For my assignment, though, I'm just asking you to make a detailed mass, as much detail as you can. You could, for example, on this project, you could put the floor plates in, and then you could do the outer volume as a sort of extruded kind of plane. It just depends on how much you want to do. But I would say try to add as much detail as you can and just get comfortable with the tools. Extrusion, blend, revolve, um, sweep, sweep blend, and void. All right. If you have any questions, you know what to do. All right. See ya.